Hello. All right, I have not seen this. We got a kit to reveal. There we go. Dark side, tank confirmed. To me, it was going to be 50-50 between tank or attacker, but confirmed. All right. So they are expecting him to. Oh, tank doesn't necessarily. Because it's had like. The music is normal. I am far away from. For a very good reason. I'll try to balance. The moment that I get remotely close to the mic, he just starts to fucking eat it. But he wants to hang out right now. So I will start each encounter. Scorch taunts for 2 turns. Confirms. Unconditional. Have that. Scorch's taunting gets 25% defensive tenacity. Whenever he loses taunt, he gains 25%. I figured bonus protection would be on them. If they're trying to lean into the Republic Commandos and right automatically regenerate. While he has Bulwark, he is immune to speed down, stagger, and stun. Whatever an enemy dispels taunt from Scorch, inflicted with 66 turns, which can't be copied. Dispel prevented or resisted. I'll get. Anyway, like audio clip it. Like low or hot? I turned it up last night, so I know why it's flipping. Anything now? Low slipping up. I'm thinking of P. Okay. I could X cap. I would show why I don't. It has suffered. Uh, stop. What do you mean? All right. Test. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. I don't see it cutting out now. Also, looks like everything is just moved. All right, testing, testing. I don't see it cutting out now. I think we're fine. All right. Where were we? He's got the pre-taunt. While he's taunting his defense tenacity. Whenever he loses it, he gains bonus protection. So the biggest question right now is how often can he taunt? If he's frequently taunting, then get a little bit of activity from the dispelling. But if it just ends up being like a manual taunt, that's kind of brutal. Whenever an enemy dispels taunt from Scorch, they are inflicted with 66 for 2 turns. While he has Bulwark, he's immune to speed down stagger. I saw people talking about this card. That's probably the fleet mechanic showing up here. If the enemy was a Jedi, Order 66 lasts for 4 turns. Whenever a damage over time inflicted by Scorch expires, he gains 10% bonus protection 2 turns. Okay, bonus effect. Has to be inflicted by him, so I guess Datacron will count if it comes. At the start of battle, if there is an ally, Grand Moff Tarkin. Tarkin gains 200% potency. Scorch assists whenever Tarkin ability. First time Tarkin will be defeated, he instead gains deflective ward for turns or until he receives damage. Can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented, and recovers on health protection. Not too crazy of a clause. Obviously, Tarkin's happy about the code, but I'll have to have any thoughts. GAC Omicron, Scorch gains 50% bulk and 50% whenever he loses taunt. All dark side clone trooper allies recover health and protection. Whenever he gains taunt, he dispels all debuffs on himself, and all other dark side clone trooper allies gain 10%. Whenever he uses Entrenched, he gains an additional 5 stacks of Bulwark. First time each other non-GL Empire allies reduce to 50% health, Scorch taunts for turns of that ally recover. Each other non-GL Empire allies. So is that the extent of his active taunting? Now, granted, it's LV, so I assume that taunt can still be. And it's not like you need terribly much more than this. I mean, it's Royal reference, kind of more or less. Uh, no, you don't need it, but I can see. Okay, testing 1, 2, 3. I lowered the close threshold. Might be losing my voice or something. Maybe just overly sensitive to closing. But anyway, so yeah, this is very like Royal Guard coded, which we kind of expected to take a Royal Guard out. Crucially, though, the health regen is, well, it's missing and it's not missing, right? You're getting it once in a big quantity rather than passive regenerating. I don't know. It's not bad. It's very similar. Jesus. I don't think the cats did something to cause it, but I don't know for sure. I will get a cat cam sometimes. That's my commitment. I don't know. It's like this isn't bad. This isn't insane. This is maybe a little bit less than I thought he might have. But let's see ability. Special 2 Entrenched, cooldown of 4, Scorch taunts for 2 turns, recovers 25% health and protection, and gains 5 stacks of Bulwark for 2 turns, which can't be copied. The start of battle, if there's an ally Lord Vader or Grand Moff Tarkin is the leader, bulwark can't be dispelled or prevented. One allies gain protection up, dispellable. That's it. Bulwark is just a tooltip. So this is a very basic button on a cooldown of 4. When you replace taunt will proc to 50% health and protection, you will have both buffs at once, basically. Now, it might invisibly stack that if you lose both, you probably gain 50% bonus protection. Yeah, this is very Clone Wars Chewie coded. It's like OG Stormtrooper with the what they gave him the Zeta for Imperial Remnants that gives them protection up on turn. This is very timid. Weird. Reaching charge, cooldown of 3. Physical damage to all enemies, inflict 2 stacks of damage over time for 2 turns, and off balance for 2 turns, which can't be copied. Okay. So now with LV doing, what, 6 dots on first turn, if you can get Scorch into Oppo, you're happy. The Turbo Scorch seems to be something of interest. Whether or not that's feasible is another question, because I don't think Darkseid clones get the Ufu speed up. But they do get a little bit of initial extra speed. I feel like I still see it, not quite. Testing 1, 2, 3. Talking. I don't know. There's a light that lights up when it's talking, and I'm not seeing it that much. That sounds solid so far. Okay, maybe I'm just. Maybe the light's bullshit. Exterminate with extreme prejudice. Deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all debuffs from a random debuffed Empire ally. That already is like a pretty good assist effect. The target enemy had Order 66, reduce the cooldowns of a random other non-GL Empire ally by 1. That is curious. That I did not see coming. So he's a tank. So, like, you're not going to be calling him with either, right? That I can think of? Yeah, they have Retribution, but I'm trying to think in terms of, like, Oppo and Nightfall and various clauses. This is looking for attacker, this is looking for support, this is looking for support, this is looking for attacker. So we can't necessarily fabricate it. Unless you're playing Tarkin. One of the 5v5 seem to have an Omicron to use, and at 33 we like Scorch with Tarkin, while CX2 is 33 Omicron as well. I don't know, like, he's not the most earth-shattering tank, right? Like, compared to, like, Wrecker 2. It is a hazard. You get a face full of cat. But yeah, no. I think he's doing a fine amount. This doesn't feel like a definitive, like, transformative tank. This is just like, yeah, he'll do kind of the job that Royal Guard did. Royal Guard was a staple before for pretty similar reasons. And yeah, maybe that's like all future Empire tanks for LV are going to be kind of like this, where they'll have a little bit of reactivity, but they're kind of leaning on the mark, because the mark play pattern is kind of meaningful, and I don't think they want to just like subvert that or make it go away. I don't. Yeah, it feels like this guy's clone trooper is going to be like a lot of the power budget for the squad in 5v5, especially if you can reach. I will. He's literally looking at the microphone controls. Literally looking at the volume knob. Also, if you said, okay, let me try this. This might be better. Yeah, like I'm not necessarily saying that he's here to fill the squad. It's just like when I look for what's impactful here, it's like, okay, this will matter. This will matter. This will matter. This will vaguely matter, but more so like this is what I'm looking for. Like when I'm looking for power budget and like how to assess the character, a lot of it really is on the unique. We'll have to see base stats to understand how realistic breaching charge will be. There aren't too terribly many speedy tanks, but that's not to say it can't happen. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. And then his apparent alter ego given a full-blown write-up. Are they? Also, is there anything here? Inspiration originally came from the game Republic Commando. Not the Scorch. Don't say his fucking name. Scorch, or Delta Squad made a cameo appearance in Clone Wars. Scorch showed up in Bad Batch as a leader. Okay, yeah, Breaching Charge seemed more like a Republic Commando thing. What the fuck did they even have to do with him for Bad Batch? Yeah. There's not a whole lot of inspiration there. Dude did not do shit. Alright. With the introduction of our new Darkside Clone Trooper characters, we wanted to have a secondary leader that would lead them to battle with the release. Main was intended to be LV. We want a secondary option for non-LV owners and a way to add more viability in 3v3. All Tarkin's ability descriptions have been revised using our modern style guide, and we've standardized his damage types that all abilities are now special. Well, he was probably used special damage on his special and physical damage on basic. His basic, first special ability, and leader ability have all received mechanical updates. Grant synergy to Clone Troopers. Our press damage is triggered twice at the right conditions. Basic now applies to stacking status effect that tracks how much potency is granted. Is that like the barb? The barb stat UI hack? Several additional enhancements have been made across the kit to improve its synergy with Empire allies in general, making Tarkin a more flexible asset. Added brand new 3v3 Omicron. If we like what we've done here. Alright. Probably should just read the actual kit. Lead new final text. 30% health and protection, 30 speed. Inflict defense not exposed for 2 turns on enemies that fall below 100. That's the old unchanged, I think, right? While in 3v3, if all other allies are Darkside Clone Troopers, at the start of the encounter, allied Darkside Clone Trooper supports stealth for 2 turns. Clone Trooper tanks gain protection up 50% for 2 turns. Undispellable. Crucial. Scorch gains 5 stacks of Bulwark. Whenever Darkside Clone Trooper ally uses a special ability, Tarkin assists, which, if Tarkin still has core basics, Tarkin assisting will build potency, which will make him tankier and do more damage. Whenever an enemy evades or resists a debuff from a Darkside Clone Trooper ally, Tarkin gains 5% TM and recovers 10% health. A debuff from a Darkside Clone Trooper ally, so you have a decent amount represented on Scorch grenade, which again kind of points towards I would not be shocked to see Scorch as a fast unit, or at least wanting to be. How many debuffs do you even have? Stun if you have Ruse, single target on basic. You attempt target healing immunity? There's not too terribly much on dude that I'm remembering. The debuffs definitely seem more Scorch centric. Control F, inflict. Single target, single target, single target. Yeah, so this guy isn't really producing too much here. I guess we try the same thing here. Yeah, you got 10, 15 potential represented here. That's really kind of it. Okay, so mostly just the Scorch Grenade possibly generates a bunch of TM if you're getting resisted. This guy's School Trooper, the debuffs are only single target, I believe. At least it's checking for target enemy. Yeah, inflict them. So it's not like the target determines the AoE functionality. It's just like extra single target stuff on top. Which is like, it's still an okay number of debuffs. But also a lot of this shit is... I mean, you have, what, 3 dot attempts? A fair amount of unresistible stuff, which wouldn't get you value anyway. Like, light side, you get an attempt for healing immunity. Jedi... I guess it's conditional on Ruse for resistibility. But for the most part, it's just like, what, the 3 dots, potentially. I just don't see it as a major source. Whatever intimidation tactics is used, that's his point debuffs, dispel buffs on all enemies, and inflict them with daze for 2 turns, resistible. That's not his lead? I guess, oh, it's on the Omicron, so. Whatever ultimate firepower is used, inflict fear on all enemies for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. Enemies can't be revived. I was actually wondering about this. We have been seeing more symmetrical revive or anti-revives lately than single-sided. This is interesting. Unique Callous Conviction. Old final text. Grandma Tarkin gains defense equal to his potency percentage and 20% potency per debuffed enemy. To start a battle, Grandma Tarkin gains 50% potency for each other Empire ally. Tarkin gains defense equal to his potency and 20% potency for each debuffed enemy. When the counter gets 50% shielding dispellable. Falls below 50%, he gains 50% shielding dispellable. If an Empire ally inflicts a debuff, Tarkin a regen. This is like a pretty decent clause. We've already established that Scorch plus DCT can't like utilize it all that well. I guess like if we tried to go over to like CX, he could not either. That's the sort of thing that's like, I mean, depending on what else is in here, it could just be like a pretty good thing to have for LV, to be honest. This looks pretty similar. Empire allies gain tactical supremacy for 2 turns. Have we had that before? It sounds vaguely familiar. Was it on a Datacron? Trench buff, gotcha. Isn't that like kind of not that great? Energy potency recover protection at the start of turn. If this build recover 40% health and gain advantage in foresight. You could do worse. Crit gen down and offense down is the same. Rebel enemies can't resist these debuffs. Gain TM for each debuffed enemy. Nice little addition. Ultimate firepower deals special damage to all enemies and remove 50% of their TM. This attack deals more damage equal to double Tarkin's potency percentage. All allies are dark side clone troopers deal an additional instance of damage equal to double Tarkin's potency percentage. Okay, so he doubles down. I mean, we will have to see on the damage output. It's possible this might just be a crazy amount. Three times his potency nuke, but what's the ratio? I should know this, but back when Tarkin was the character I was most interested in, back when I started playing, I did not know what a ratio was. 44% with 200 on top for. So is the potency effectively determining the ratio? Hmm. 40% ratio is crazy. It's we haven't really seen an ability that's been calculated this exact way. Maybe like Darth Vader Culling Blade was kind of in this vein, but Culling could hit a lot more shit, so it was like at some point you didn't need to know to know. He gets 50% potency. There are a lot of things that are done this way. I'm talking about a 44% ratio. Ancestral Resolve. Ancestral Resolve is not scaling, period. It's a flat value per stack. Well, it does feel like a lot is going to ride or die on how much damage his ultimate firepower can do. Hey, quick question. What's your crit chance? Uh-huh. Yeah, Ancestral is literally just you are reading that as it's 60,000. It's not it's 60,000. Don't overthink it. No, it's literally flat. It's 600 per stack of revolve or resolve. Holy fuck, they want to play so badly. I don't know what he's disagreeing or agreeing on, man. Like, it's a flat value. What do you want from me? This is an extremely low ratio on top of a secondary scalar. This is fucking nothing. I can tell you exactly how much Bo-Katan does. It's 20k or 60k or under 20k. I don't know what we're doing here. I'm lost. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Tarkin 3v3 clones is gonna be nuts. This feels more broadly like a mid-game team. If we could do like Tarkin, Scorch, Thrawn or something, just to try to like juice the nuke, then maybe. I mean, disguised clone troopers may be the X factor. That's hard to predict, but we would have been more interested in a disguised clone trooper assist, right? Like, we lose the disguised clone trooper assists. We lose Oppo and CX stealthing him. Tarkin is going to be beefy. He is, but we are lacking a lot of ways to handle incoming debuffs. Like, you have Scorch assists, but what happens when Scorch gets dazed or stunned? Like, you get this for 5 hits. Basically, let me put it this way. I think it'll be an offense team. I don't see it going on defense. And I say that independent of set 20 and 21 affecting things. Which, on some level, is probably what CG wants anyway. I think they want people to play Target and have the big booms. Is probably the point. Look at an Emperor set. That seems pretty likely. So, that could easily change the assessment, but just in terms of, like, right now, yeah, it's going to be so hard to get Ruse on Disguised. And not even just get it, but keep it. So you're riding or dying on Tarkin's output. Is there a world where we cut Disguised Clone Trooper and like put CX in instead? Promise I don't know if CX is actually doing that much. And a defense on the team with 309s is going to be so hard to kill them. There is a non-zero chance that you can just bounty hunter this. Dengar, Grief, Mando. Oh, let's see. Grief Mass. Well. I was just thinking Dengar because of the easier contract. But we are lacking a few hits. Either way, the point being, doesn't Tarkin use his AoE first? Am I crazy in that? Oh, he might do point first. But in 3v3, the point will get less turn meter. So you self cycle 40% and then try to threaten a nuke. But you don't really have good ways to earn those turns or keep them once you have them. Like, a squad like Malgus would never care about this, right? In the pantheon of what I look for in good proactive defense teams, I don't really see too many tools. This more strikes me as you put it in front of a matchup where you know that you can get the nuke off. And you run an offense and you do that thing. Or you put it into a matchup where you know, okay, this is a good disguised clone trooper matchup and he can do his thing. But keep in mind, Scorch Scorch's kit seems very designed around LV's lead in terms of tanks retaunting with the mark. We do not have that here. Just trying to set expectations. I'm not saying it'll be bad, but, you know, don't be surprised if it's not hitting like a 2025 team. It's extra value for our mid game as I see it. So this isn't Clone Trooper ally, so it could hit Tarkin. Is there ever a world where you actually just run Tarkin Scorch 2-man? If you had an effect even just like Dark Side TM on special, you would get 60% TM per finger point. Not having Clone Trooper Retribution seems meh. Let's be extremely clear. You only get Retribution when he's in stealth, of which he will be doing very infrequently and very dispellably. This is the problem. Which it will be a match start. Am I forgetting a clause? Darkside Clone Trooper supports stealth for 2 turns. So he gets it guaranteed once until it gets dispelled. I don't. It's cute. I don't think it's gonna move the needle. If it was locked or like consistent production, then okay. Yeah, my prediction for this team is I think it'll be okay on offense. I do not think you should post this on defense, to be honest. If you want to, if it's fun to you, then follow your heart. But what's the best thing to equate this to? I don't know if we've really seen a team that's like this. We have it. I can't remember exactly what it was. You're basically loading into a match and saying, "Boy, I sure hope nothing bad happens to me." Which means you need to control what bad things can happen to you because your opponent will happily do them to you if you give them the opportunity by posting them on defense. Everything that I said just could be modified by if the damage on the AoE turns out to be good. But even the damage on the AoE turns out to be good, it'll just like die to Malgus or something like that, where they have 80% crit avoid. Yeah, we'll see. I do hope I'm wrong, but I do not think I am. Sounds like Enoch's music. Yeah, Enoch has a good shout. Enoch or Malgus both can kind of operate in the same lane, for sure. They both have the true damage to ignore the defense stacking. This cringe is just too low to try. Not in this household. I've done this like 5 times with 22% crit chance in the last year. Farm your crit chance secondaries. What's his base potency? Being an old character, I assume it's not all. Yeah. Yeah, so like, you're saying it's a potential 30 and 10% AoE ratio, but like to put it into context, the team doesn't have a whole lot of extra steroids on top of that. Like, I don't think he's gonna point his finger and then use nuke and everything will just die. I think this is a situation where you need to keep using basic for a while. No, you're not saying that. I'm just trying to calibrate everyone's expectations. Like, for this team to be defensively viable, you would want it to be, like, first AoE wins, because even getting to that AoE seems a little bit suspect. Yeah, we'll see. Not trying to hate or anything, just don't want to see people get disappointed. Starting the after DC for 180% more potency. I mean, you could. Although potency is pretty readily available right now, right? You wouldn't even necessarily need after DC. Whatever the Scorch Omicron is enough to box out Seer Malicos. This team will get absolutely obliterated by Seer Malicos. Like, it's not even going to be close. LV Oppo Scorch? Oh. I don't see a reason to do that. Like, Seer Malicos, I'm pretty sure was already losing to a health Opocron. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you would rather go CX. I mean, like, so actually, well, okay, I'll finish answering that question first. Like, I know that this is doing vaguely a similar thing to what CX is doing, but I still think that CX is just offering more relevant tools for the most part. If Oppo could call Scorch to assist, I would like maybe be a little bit warmer to the idea, but there is so little synergy right now. Genuinely, there would almost be more synergy running like our Royal Guard or something. Yeah, so what I wanted to say. So here's the biggest question, and I don't think there's an answer. I think we do have our answer. My question going into today was, will Scorch have anything to say about Kylo? Because that seems kind of increasingly inevitably like where this is headed. And I am not sure Kylo will really care about any of this. Yeah, he can't be stunned, but SLK has the courtesy of time. He has to use a special game Bork. If we're talking 5v5, though, we haven't seen SLK versus 5v5 full clones. I don't know. I don't know that I see crew caring about Oppo hitting him that much. Worst case scenario, because this already probably was true this last 3v3 season, you probably needed to bulk up your firm. Yeah, SLK ignores Taun now. I don't think Scorch will matter for SLK. This is not necessarily a complaint because you need to have an option to be available. If anything, this is kind of just restoring the old dynamic that was established by certain datacron metas where, like, yeah, you probably need to save SLK for LV. Because LV is putting enough pressure on everything else that SLK is kind of just the guy who can probably get it done. In terms of JML ambitions, I do suspect that this will probably slam that door shut. The biggest reason is the auto heal. That auto heal will be brutal. JML versus LV would already have been a race before this. Scorch's pro Malicos killing LV for fun in the middle of the fight. What do you think? Seer will beat this? Whatever it's worth, at least for Seer fights, they will have to go through Scorch first, and Scorch will have 100% bonus protection at minimum. Malicos isn't like one-shotting him or anything. Like, you would have to kill Scorch first. He lost his CX unique, but he does, he loses 100% health and instead gains 50% max health and max protection. Oh, wait, it's only for Scorch. Oh, yeah, you do. Fuck no. Maybe if you're just confident that, like, they can't go for LV. But, yeah, no, you would much prefer CX unique. Pre-existing win condition for LV Oppo CX. They just built them for bulk. The moment that I switched my LV over to defense sets, I haven't lost to a Seer since. I'm pretty sure that's true. I lost to a Seer when I was on health sets. 3x defense set, no speed set. You don't give a fuck about speed if you're trying to carry or to block Seer Malicos. I went with triple health set in week 1 because I was like worried about true damage and just like trying to maximize Oppo. But then if you're trying to maximize Oppo, why the fuck would you not care about defense? So I swapped over. Right. Like obviously people who were using Maul are doing a fair amount of true damage. Malicos AoE does true damage. But a good amount of the bulk of them trying to kill you is just coming from Malicos physical damage. So yeah, like of course, defense sets would potentially impede that a lot. Not defense primaries, no. Just sets. Behold. I have so fucking many loadout saves. At some point, this is just gonna take like a minute to open. .515 speed, 70 armor, 360 total health. Yeah, I guess it was 2 defense sets, 1 health set. This is like maybe this mod probably only made it in because of the 515 speed requirement. That it was like cheating down on speed at other places to try to hit it. I don't know. I would probably drop this down to like 510 just to pick up a better diamond. Creative Whirlwinds and Jamo Assist ones having your sides. Also, that was also why I was on triple health set week 1. I was worried about JML. I mean, let's see. Okay, so yeah, we could have done better. I just did not set targets aggressively enough, but also, like, what I had worked fine, so fuck it at some point. Yeah, this is, like, about the rate I would look for. I assume 72 is the hard cap, though. That's plus 21 armor. Okay. That's just a very large volume. Yeah. So, like, 515 speed, 360k health, 73 armor would have been my cap. I locked it with 71. It did fine at 71. I'm not, like, too fussed about it. Especially if we're talking about easing loadout balance with everything else that I had going on in the loadout. But yeah. I, like, ultimately, Seer Malicos is a bulk check more than anything, right? I know we played the Starkiller fight and it went like the full 5 minutes that like they do have some inevitability, but I do think the defense is still kind of in conversation with that inevitability. Like there's a world where maybe Oppo Kron is trying to like kill them before they can try to kill you. I know that I lost once having Malikos get focused down, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Scorch is not like earth shattering, but he doesn't really need to be at this point. The team's power budget is kind of established. I do think we're gonna see most people just do SLK, which was probably always gonna be the inevitable fate, but a lot of this was really just about the question of A, how good are they making SLK bleed? Or possibly risk a loss, I guess, but that's I don't know if that's on the table. But also how much pressure is there for trying to block out other counters? And I would say like the team already had pressure; they weren't really looking to Scorch to add more. Yeah, Datacron could easily throw a wrench into things. But to be honest, I don't even know if it's really necessary. Oh, it's not Andor time yet. We could chill for a bit with Starvaders. It was pretty damn good. It's a little bit easier than I thought it would be, but it's had some pretty cool shit going on. Some really fun builds. There's like 4 different pilots on this mech. 3 pilots, they all have like their own starting decks and passives. This mech is very fucking abstract. The mech's played like significantly differently. This one, you don't even inhabit a mech. You're just like summoning puppets and shit. I think LV&D holds up in 3s during an average DC set, whereas team doesn't have a specific L6, L9. The thing you have to keep in mind for Seer Malikos right now is that they have dark side buffs, which is just a level 3, in fairness, but like that is also propping up their output significantly. Crucially, dark side buffs plus good damage and bulk. Like, I really do not believe that Apokron is all that important to the current proceedings, more so than I believe that bulk is what matters. Like, if you tell me, yeah, it's just like a weird, like, the Statocron set has, like, potency and tenacity and crit avoidance, and LV can't really hold up as well, that would not shock me. But yeah, the main vein that I'm looking at it at is it's a bulk check. So as long as we have bulk in the stats, then they bring back DS deck, then maybe it's even better then. The problem with bulk level 3 is it would just be additive on top of CX, where like you would be happier off just having, like, I think you're happier off having health and protection in the Datacron stats and then having CX double that rather than just having 45% on top of the 100%. I mean, if you have both available, then all the better. But yeah, I'm more so just looking for ways to check it that way. Is it weird to say that like defense has been gone for so long? I kind of forgot what having defense stats on the Kron set felt like, or if it matters. Like I'm so used to the paradigm now that like Oh, I farmed a bunch of defense sets. So I just run the defense on my characters, and then I just rely on the datacrons for all the protection, and that just kind of works out. Like, I don't even know if it would be all that worth it for me to run defense sets with a defense datacron. I don't know what the math on that is. Like, I know defense scales linearly, but am I screwing up for not going, like, extra bulk secondaries instead of defense secondaries at that point if it's like a 300% defense datacron? Also, so what the fuck is this, dude? Thunder Moon enchantments. What in the fuck? Yeah, you're basically like a weird witch doctor class that like has summons that are like extremely expendable, and you have 3 spell slots. Complexity 3 stars. Say no more. Um, but how? Maybe you have to win with them first. Strike all of the tiles in the summons column counts as both sun and moon. That seems pretty damn good. Add 3 junk cards and then double cast the next card. There was a respawn any summon, so it's a death trigger plus refreshes the ability, I assume. Plus draw one. I have no idea what that shit means. I didn't mean to hit that. I was trying to check the deck. Alright, so what the fuck? Was there any one tile in any direction when destroyed, reduce the cost of a random sun card by 1? Okay, so functionally the same thing, but for their own respective. What else is out here? Interested in seeing what happens when Lightside doesn't have thick for the first time in like a year. If we're talking 5v5, I don't know how much it will matter for them outside of GLs. I think we just grab spells early. This card actually seems kind of nuts. Wait. Can I not? Oh, pull is only to empty slots. Gotcha. Okay. Still vaguely useful, but less so. So, like, for example, it's not shabby. Yeah, I'm done. We got an hour, right? Some Starvator still in. I put the event up so people know. Still seems odd to me that you can like use the last one as a template. Wait, what happened to the Luthen picture? Uh-huh. Okay. Saved. So can I choose? Okay, so I don't have to give the shield to an enemy. It can just be inanimate objects. Yeah, the reposition card's way better than I expected for Fireball. Either we didn't go with the two kits. Uh, I think he's fine. I don't think he needs to be anything that crazy. I think that team is pretty spelled out at this point. It's basically a Royal Guard that can like, if it depends on how fast he can be, but like, yeah, he's like trying to be fast for Oppo. He's trying to be a little bit of CX flavor with the doubling bulk and then the passive regen, kind of like how CX goes, which will be annoying for JML. He's fine. I'm not blown away, but I don't really need to be. This guy's Clone Trooper does a lot of the table setting for being a total pain in the ass for non SLK teams, I think. I mean, what? Outside of SLK, Jabba's already. I think Jabba's like a non favorite matchup, just like LV traditionally. It's not something I've ever played, but just on paper, I assume. Sith Eternal, probably not. And who's the last? Who am I missing? It's okay to see Jabba. Oh, I guess it'd just be Mirror, but who cares about Mirror? The last one I'm not thinking of is GL Thrawn, but that doesn't exist yet. Fireball as a spell, sacrifice a summon to strike all tiles. I might go Slash. I like the lower cooldown. We already have a decent amount of fireballs as is. Gain 2 copies of a common artifact. We drop 3 cards at match start. That is a pain in the ass. these guys leave clouds, which like basically act as barriers to eat one hit. So we're kind of just need to wait. They disappear on turn end. Oh no, it's sacrifice for fireball. Done. Yeah. Wait, was there no second wave of enemies? What the hell? Interlinked. They fucking Blade Runner reference. Gotta begin to give link to a random card for every 5 cards in your deck. What does that mean? Interlinked. Modding advice for the new clone troopers? Um, is it weird to say that I don't know if it matters too much? I mean, we're mostly just worried about us okay, right? Well, okay. The actual answer is it depends on how fast Scorch can be, but generally you want Oppo to be slower than CX2. And I would imagine you also want Scorch to be faster. I don't know if it matters if Scorch is faster than CX2, but you want Scorch to go before Oppo as well. Disguise Clone Trooper. A lot of his base damage is the massive damage that, like, maybe I think you'd be fine going away with, like, bulk primaries, offense secondaries, rather than, like, full damage. But yeah, I don't think there's too much sauce to have to worry about putting into the kit aside from, like, speed order. It seems like it matters a fairly decent amount because CX2, you want him to damage something before he gets called to assist so that he gets to rack up his passive. Scorch, if you can get the 2 extra dots and try to hit the 8 dot AoE before it all gets dispelled, you would be happy. I don't know if that's a realistic expectation, but you can at least try. And then, yeah, like, generically fill bulk and damage past that. I still don't really know what this means, but I guess we're going to find out. I guess this is the best we can do. That was not worth. Both of our fireballs are on the ground right now. Problem is, a very vertical situation right now, and all of our shit is horizontal. Pretty shit money earned, but that's pretty good. That is also not bad. We do not have any repeated cards. I don't see any of these are too insane. Maybe we just reroll. That would be pretty convenient. So every time that I use a summon to ram something, it counts as. I don't know if that counts as my mech being struck, because it's not technically an enemy hitting me, it's me hitting them. This is nice just for consistency. I have no idea what this shit is. That's different. I completely forgot. Starting spell upgrades with the amount of attuned cards. What does it mean upgrade? Draw all linked cards in your draw pile and make them free this turn. That's what that means. That's not bad. We already had them. I can actually just move around the boss, apparently. I don't know if it matters. If I kill stuff before it ends. I don't know why I thought I was killing it. I just got the wings. Two additional spell slots and a random spell. Holy shit. First card that would be discarded when played instead stays in your hand so you could double up. You end your turn with no summon, reduce the cooldown of each spell by 1. That's also very good, but 2 extra spell slots. Seems crazy. Recharge each summon. That's not bad. This is a shit show. Oh. So pull still has some lethal value. Oh god, I just realized. I'm 1 minute short now. Oh, I could have just I'm fucking so tempted to just reroll. Fuck, man. Okay, we need to get that card back. That card is nuts on this map. This is a problem. Could I do move, kill, push into water, make a summon here, step right, fireball? Survey says yes. That's not shabby. Destroying spells is so weird of a concept to me. Like their renewability is like their greatest asset, I feel like. A second reposition. I have been enjoying it so far. Problem is, a lot of our attacks are one-stop shops. So getting +1 repeat on the move attacks would be pretty damn good. But then it would just brick out for half our summons because you can't. Well, I guess we could sacrifice another summon, but we wouldn't have that many that often. Okay, we need to reach over here with a self-sack at the ends, which means we need to that into this. That did not work out as hoped. Is there something to be said that we should just... Huh. Maybe instead of killing them, then we just need to, like, push right. No. A sacrifice fireball would reach through the blob. We already committed. But we rolled to try to save one Doom. We don't have a fireball now, though. How many moves did I do? I have 1 or 2 moves left. Okay, that was it. Oops. Oh, the fucking. Okay, I screwed up then. I should not have pushed him down. They shell up when you hit them once, so you have to hit them twice, but that means that it's just guaranteed to get in. Unfortunate. Might have been a bad idea. I'll go on ironically, this is like somehow my most powerful move, despite the fact that I was skeptical about even using it to start. Like, holy shit, just give me more of these, please. Not giving me much to work with. I guess it was overly ambitious to. Well, if I was stayed on this side, then I would have had to get over here anyway. Losing all the summons was maybe reckless. decent enough. Stun doubler combo. If you have 6 or more stun cards in your campaign deck, upgrade Astal Call to draw 3 cards. Gotcha. Upgrade Astral Call to give 2 mana. 2 to 1, 2 to 2. We do not have that many yet. 2 of each. I think I would rather have the Sun multiplay. Oh, and this is any tile, so we can finally do aggressive plays. Finally. Actually, decent turn. That's not shabby. Oh, these are pretty decent. Cards that spawn entities are not discarded at a turn, but they would be discarded on play still, right? See, this is my speed. That is also not bad, actually. Holy shit. Alright, it is almost Andrew time. I don't know why I said it that way. It's almost Andrew time. I'm gonna go get ready. Have a drink and shit. Be on the Discord if you're in the mood to watch. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for hanging out. Looking forward to Scorch and Company. Peace.